Hi, my dear students. I am once again welcoming you to the corporate administration classes. To the corporate administration classes. Here in this session, we are discussing about the contents of prospectus. Contents of prospectus. So this is the most important topic here. Contents of prospectus. So here, these contents are, as well as we called it as provisions provisions of prospectus. So it is very essential, very important. We should study about the what are the major contents of prospectus. First of all, we should know the meaning of prospectus. What is meant by the prospectus? A prospectus is nothing but it is a complete detailed information about the organization. See in this meaning, so they tells us what is meant by prospectus is nothing but a prospectus. It refers to, it is an invitation to the public to subscribe the shares and debentures of a company by issuing a statement or document. It is what we call as prospectus. See, in this meaning they tells us, so prospectus is nothing but it is an invitation we are sending to the general public to purchase or subscribe our shares and debentures is called as the prospectus. ಪರಿಚಯ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆ. ಪರಿಚಯ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಚಯ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕರ ಠೇವಣಿಗಳನ್ನ ಆಹ್ವಾನಿಸುವಂತಹ ಷೇರುಗಳನ್ನ ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತೆ ಅಂತೂ ಸಾಲ ಪತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತೆ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಮನವಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಒಂದು ನೋಟಿಸು, ಸುತ್ತೋಲೆ, ಜಾಹೀರಾತು, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪರಿಚಯ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ depending upon the success of the public company is depending only on the prospectus. Why? Because by seeing the prospectus, each and every shareholder, each and every investor, they are ready to purchase the shares and debentures of the particular company. So that is what we call as the effect of the prospectus in the mind of the investors or the shareholders. So after this, what are the contents we are included? What are the provisions in the prospectus here? Section 56 of the Companies Act of 2013. Here, section 56 of the Companies Act lied down. So entire prospectus, they are divided into two parts. Entire prospectus according to the section 56 of the Companies Act of 2013. Companies Act of 2013. What happens here? They divided the entire prospectus things into two major parts. That is, the first one is the state the matters specified in part 1 of the schedule 2. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಟೂ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 1 ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 2. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್ is comes in the Companies Act under the section 56 of subsection 56 of schedule 2. Companies Act ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಕಂಪನಿಗಳ ಕಾಯ್ದೆ 2013 ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 56 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಲಂ 56ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 2 ಅನ್ನ 2 ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಏನು, ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 1 ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 2. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 1 ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 2. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಏನ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್. It states the matters is nothing but so what they are specified in the Companies Act. So what is the matters here? We should discuss in this part 1 of schedule 2. So here part 1 of schedule 2. In this part 1 of schedule 2, see in this part 1 of schedule 2 what happens here. In the part 1 of schedule 2, in the part 1 of schedule 2, general information. See, in the part 1 of schedule 2, they first divided the part 1 information into the general information. So in a part 1 of schedule 2, what are the matters we are going to discuss, what are the things we are going to discuss is nothing but the first heading is general information. General information regarding what? So the general information regarding the first one, name and address of the registered office. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೇಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್. In prospectus, each and every information is clearly given. That is what we call as schedule 2. According to the Companies Act of 2013, schedule 2, entire information what we are given in the prospectus, it will be divided into two parts, part 1 and part 2. In that part 1, the first information is, that is what we called as general information. The first one is the general information. In that general information, what information they are going to given here? The first one is the name and address of registered office of the company. Name and address of the registered office, where it will be located. It is a general information. This is general information we given to the each and every public, each and every people who are interested to buy the shares and debentures of our company. So this is what we call as the general information we given to the shareholders, we given to the public, we given to the investors. So this general information. So under the heading of the general information, the first one is the name and address of the registered office. After this, the second one here, the consent of central government for issue. Consent. What is meant by consent? Consent is nothing but acceptance. OPA. Acceptance. So here acceptance, what happens here? Acceptance or consent of central government for issue is nothing but if we are issuing the shares or if we are issuing the prospectus, in the general information heading, we basically, in the general information heading, we basically getting the acceptance of central government for issue of the shares and debentures. It is very, very essential. So whether we are getting the acceptance or not, we are clearly mentioned in the general information itself. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜನರಲ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಸೊ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆಯನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಆ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದೀವ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ಗೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್. So here in this third one, name of regional stock exchange and other stock exchange when the application is made for listing of present issue. See what they are telling us, regional stock exchange name also we are clearly mentioned. Why? Because the public cannot know, the public is unable to know where the shares will be purchased, where the shares will be sold. So in this situation, if we are started the company in Chikbalapur, if we are started the company in the Chikbalapur, in the prospectus we are clearly mentioned that where you are going to selling your shares and debentures in the Bangalore Stock Exchange. So what happens here? The people or the public or the investors, they clearly knowing that, so where it will be traded, either in the Chikbalapur or in the Bangalore. So we are clearly mentioned it. Where is our regional stock exchange? Is Bangalore Stock Exchange. If we are started our company in Delhi, Delhi Stock Exchange. If we are started our company in the Chennai, Chennai Stock Exchange. See, stock exchange, why we have to be mentioned the name of the stock exchange here. So each and every shares and debentures, securities will be traded in stock exchange only. Therefore, in the prospectus itself, we are clearly mentioning the name of the stock exchange where we are traded. So where the application is available, where the application is available, also the people should know about that. So therefore, we should clearly mention that the name of the regional stock exchange and as well as other stock exchange, the name of the regional stock exchange as well as other stock exchange where the application is available, where the company shares and debentures is available. Each and every information we are clearly given in the general information of part 1 schedule 2 of the prospectus. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರಿಚಯ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಹೆಸರು ಮತ್ತು ವಿಳಾಸವನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಎರಡನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಅನುಮತಿಯನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀವ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ಅದರ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಮೂರನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ರೀಜನಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಷೇರು ವಿನಿಮಯ ಕೇಂದ್ರ, ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಷೇರು ವಿನಿಮಯ ಕೇಂದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪನಿಯ ಷೇರುಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಲಪತ್ರಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಭದ್ರತಾ ಪತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. And the fourth point, see the fourth point here, see the fourth point here, provisions of subsection 1 of the section 68A of Companies Act relating to the punishment of fictitious prospectus. See what they are telling here, fictitious. So the provisions of subsection 1 of the section 68A of the Companies Act relating to the punishment of if any duplicate prospectus they are held, if any duplicate prospectus they are issuing. Artha ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So in the fourth point they clearly mentioning that, so what is the punishment also is given, what is the punishment also is given if any frauds or if any duplicate prospectus they are issuing, what is the punishment for the company. It is also we are clearly mentioned in the prospectus general information. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಸೊ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳ ಕಾಯ್ದೆ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಪರಿಚಯ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಮಾಹಿತಿ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ದಂಡ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. After this, the next point here, in the general information we are also given, in the general information we also given statement of declaration about refund of money is the minimum subscription of 90% or not received within 90 days from the date of close of issue. So this is the very important point here, declaration, ghoshane. So declaration statement is needed. Each and every public and the investor, they are demanded, you should give the statement of declaration when you are refund our money, we, either in the closing of the company or within the 90 days of the date of issue. So when you are collecting the minimum subscription of the 90% or not received within 90 days from the date of close of issue. So this information is very essential. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸ್ವಯಂ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾಹಿತಿ. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಘೋಷಣೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕಂಪನಿ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ 2013 ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so minimum subscription is needed to get a certificate of commencement of business. Certificate of commencement of business na ಆ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ನ ಪಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ is needed. ಆದ್ರೆ ಆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ನ ನೀವು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಂಪನಿಯನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಿತಿನ್ 90 days ಒಳಗಡೆ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲಾ ಒಂದು ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟರ್, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ನಾವ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸಹ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. After this, the next one here, next point, date of opening and closing of issue. See, this is also most important point here. Date of opening or closing of issue. Date of opening or closing of issue is nothing but what happens here. Each and every company, they clearly mention that. So when they are issuing the shares and debentures, where they are issuing the shares and debentures, what is the starting date and what is the closing date of issue of shares and debentures as well as securities. The date is clearly mentioned in the prospectus, means there is no confusions, there is no dilemma in the mind of investors and the shareholders and the stakeholders of the each and every organization. So this is the clarity about our opening date and closing date of issue of the shares. After this, the next point is name and address of auditors. Name and address of the auditors, underwriters. See, this information also create the impression in the minds of the public, in the minds of the customers. What happens here? The name and address of the auditors. The name and address of the auditor, it helps the each and every investor should know about the accuracy and efficiency and effectiveness of the each and every company. So therefore, it is very essential. We should know that the auditor's name and address as well as underwriters who is taking to issue, who is a middleman who take the initiative to sell the shares. Who take the initiative to sell the shares, he is called as the underwriter. So this underwriter's information also we are provided to each and every shareholder as well as stakeholder. So therefore, in the general information, what are the information we are given in the general information means, so the name and address of the registered office of the company and the acceptance of central government, as well as the third one is name of the regional stock exchanges, and the fourth one is provisions of subsection 1 of the section 68A, and the fourth one is statement of declaration about the refund of money, and the next one is date of opening and closing of issue. The next one is name and address of the auditors and underwriters. So this is the general information we are given to the shareholders. So after this, next we are moving on capital structure of the company. So this information also we are given in the prospectus. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪನಿಯ ಬಂಡವಾಳದ ರಚನೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ನ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇಂದ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದೀವಿ. ಐದರ್ ಶೇರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ನ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದೀವ. ಸೊ ಶೇರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಥರೈಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ಈಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ನೀಡೆಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ therefore we should give the information about the capital structure of the company. Therefore we should give the information about the capital structure of the company. Here it is very essential. So because of this we should give the information about the capital structure. So what are the capital structure information here? It includes the authorized capital. It includes the authorized capital, issued capital, subscribed capital, paid up capital. See, what they are telling us. So this is the each and every amount where they are collected, each and every amount details they are given. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಬಂಡವಾಳದ ರಚನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅವನು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅಥರೈಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ತಂದಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೊ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. So this is about the capital structure of the company. After this, the next one here, term of present time. Terms of present time we should discuss in the next class.